It's the Memphis Sports Network, WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis, WMFS FM and HD1 Bartlett, WMFS Memphis, ESPN 790 AM and 92.9 FM ESPN.
The views and opinions of the hosts or guests of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the management or staff of Intercom Memphis.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find Larry Ray. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 as we talk outdoors for the next 90 minutes on this, one of my favorite shows of the year, because I don't really do anything. I just turned it over to the Wong man over there, Ron Wong. And
good morning, everybody.
And this is, a bonus Wong. But not only is it bonus Wong, but Ron's back from iCAST. He took that moped down there. No, he was at iCAST in Orlando. I can't, but he was able. This is the day that we preview the 2017 Forest Wood Cup on Lake Murray in South Carolina coming up in August.
That's right.
And we have Ron has put together a stellar lineup, and let's talk a little bit about iCAST on this first segment, Ron, and then you kind of go into a little bit about the guest that we've got on today.
Well, first of all, iCAST is the world's largest
amazing
fishing tackle
they're going to move that
show.
Across the street, they said, next year.
Well, it's a new concourse that they
puts it closer to the water. Yeah.
Well, and they did some on-the-water exhibits. I think it'll be a good thing.
Good.
It
okay.
makes no difference to me. I'm going to participate.
It's a candy store.
Wherever.
It's a candy store.
To a certain extent, except, when you have to do things like I have to do, and that's kind of work. But that's all good. And this year was no different than
talk
others.
about it.
Very, very hectic.
All right.
You get there. I got there on a Monday evening.
Because you had to do something on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, I went and fished the iCAST Cup with David Fritz, and I had another fellow named Tommy Theus in the boat, who is a buyer for Ferris Brothers down in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And we had a nice hot day.
You had a nice hot day.
I got to tell you, it was about 93 degrees, no wind, the sun beating down on the water. Long story short, we finished 12th out of 80 boats.
That's okay.
And so it wasn't a bad deal. I caught a couple of nice fish, and that's always fun. And afterwards, you go to iCAST on the water, which are exhibits that are set up along a lake right there at the convention center. And a lot of the exhibitors there have kayaks. Kayaks is a big deal.
It's a big deal, isn't it?
And so you can get out and play in the different kind of kayaks that they have and all that. And then afterwards, I'm going pretty hard on Tuesday. Been going since about 3 o'clock in the morning. That evening is the new product showcase and the voting by buyers and media members.
Okay.
And so I'll go through that, do all my voting and everything else. what was interesting this year in iCAST is not a whole lot of different items. It's just improvements, enhancements to a lot of different types of fishing tackle.
Right.
New sizes, new colors, which
New
you'll
colors.
be seeing here. Come starting in August, September, a lot of these manufacturers and lure companies and tackle companies will putting all of their new stuff out.
Yeah.
It was very, very interesting. You know, one of the things that's two big things in the fishing industry now. One is obviously kayak fishing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people getting into it. So a lot of new gear for the kayak fishermen to fit in their kayaks and that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But also a lot of, kayak fishermen have to fish a little bit differently than, say, the professionals
sure,
from the fact of they have to more finesse the fish. And because of that, you see a lot of different colors, a downsize of a lot of baits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really a good thing for not only the kayak fishermen, but for all of us that go around that like to pond hop, to fish in the residential area.
Yeah.
You've got baits now that are really, really going to work well for them. And a couple of examples is, Strike King came out with a 2.75-inch swimmer bait, which is a small swim bait.
It sure is.
Which is going to work really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've downsized their Rage Tail Menace. Phoenix rods. They are coming out with a spinning rod that is, oh my gosh, 3.2 ounces. And that's a 7-foot.
A 7-foot weighing 3.2 ounces.
It's called their featherweight series.
I'm sure.
And you know what's so great about it? It's going to be affordable.
Huh.
High-end rods, typically go $300, $350, $400.
What's this one?
The best one is about $169. They're going to start at $149.
Wow.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Lose.
Lose.
They're coming out with a reel that's 5.4 ounces, a casting reel. Amazing
How
reel.
can they do that?
So I'm going to go ahead and get one of those reels. I'm going to try to get one of those Featherlight rods.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a casting rod that weighs under 9 ounces total.
Amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And there again, for those that enjoy the high-end stuff, how about a $49 5-gallon pail?
A $49 5-gallon pail.
Yeah, these pails that you can get at Home Depot.
Well, sure, Why is this
Academy,
one $50?
For $5?
No.
Because it has the name Yeti on it.
Oh, $50. You said it's $50?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
But it's got so the name is $45.
I guess,
and the pail is $5.
And it's made kind of for the guy that's in the kayak that wants to carry stuff along, or the bank fisherman. Yeah, they say you can turn it over and sit on it, and it won't break, and all this kind of stuff.
Not.
Well, anyway,
so
did
you bring one of those back?
No, sir.
Okay, all right.
I have no need for a $50
5-gallon
bucket.
That sounds like it. And so Ron was down there. This was almost a full week for Ron, because I know he got down there, got to do all these things. And a lot of people say, well, iCAST, it's huge, Joe. It's
this year,
row and row and row.
This year there's 55 rows.
55
aisles.
rows. So you have to try to look at a map like thing. I know Cooksey went down there, and he got caught up in some plane traffic and stuff. And
right, and that first day he got down there, it had already started several hours. He met me in a break area, and he says, now what? And I says, well, first of all, over the years, what I have done now is I can't walk up and down each and every one.
No. You got to know where they are.
So what I try to do is to look for those tackle companies that would be of interest to all of us here in the Memphis Mid-South area.
Yeah.
Things we can talk about here on
Outdoors
with Larry Ray.
Yeah.
And things you can see at lroutdoors.com.
Right.
And, it may be a tackle company that's local, or it may be a tackle company that everybody's heard about and what's new with that company and those kind of things. And I have to tell you, these companies listen to the people.
They do, don't they?
They really do. It's like Bill Lewis Rattle Trap. They came out with this topwater bait last year called the Stutter Step 5.0. It's a pretty huge bait. It's 5 inches plus of topwater bait. Well, it's not for everybody. And they says, well, people are wanting something smaller. Well, they've come out now with a 4.0, which is a 3.5 inch bait, almost 4 inches.
Okay.
And which people will have more. Will have a better use for them and more likely, more likely to get it.
Yeah.
We talked to the people at River to Sea. That they're we've had them on the show here. We've had Angelo on here before.
Yeah.
And their bait that's really made them is the Whopper Popper.
The Whopper Popper.
Well, they had two sizes, a 90 series and a 130 series. The 90 series is a smaller bait, about 3 inches long. Then they had the 130, which is 5.5 inches long. Well, people are saying, wait a minute. You got big and you got small, but there's something that's got to be in between that's going to work just as well.
Yeah.
And be and probably be a little bit more effective in a lot more different waters. Well, they came out with a 110 size.
A 110 size.
Which is right in the middle. So, again, they're listening to people, all of these companies. Most of these new items will come out in the August, September, October time frame. And then you have what I like to call
what?
Fishing lures that captures fishermen.
Yes, they've got those, don't they?
Yeah, Best of Show hard bait, freshwater this year, lure, was a thing called a bat wing. Okay?
Yeah.
It is nothing more than a bait that was made back in the late 50s, early 60s called a wing ding.
A wing? I remember that.
And a crazy crawler by Hedden.
Yeah.
Well, all they did was they took this plastic body, they glued some hair on it to make it look like a bat, and they put 2 wings on it.
Oh, man.
And I said, oh, my gosh. Who's going to buy that?
How many did you get?
No.
But it was a stand. And let me say something for you're listening to Ron Wong right now at his best. He has no notes in front of him. He's not reading anything. This is all coming out of his head on what he saw down, and that's why I love this guy, because I would be scribbling notes down. I'd have them all over in front of me and everything. And Stuart Settle, he's over there trying to keep us. Is that not amazing? He's just popping this stuff off. Do you see any notes over there? No. He has no notes. Okay.
Well, I can't do that. I can't write very well.
No, but you can sure talk a good game, because that's
and there was a lot of stuff that really came out. I went by Gentco Fishing, and they have a new trimmer shad out that goes on their trimmer head.
Oh, it should.
Which is a really a pretty amazing bait. Hey, listen, you're going to be able to see a lot of these pictures and some videos that we shot.
Yeah.
That talks about a lot of these new items that have come out.
Yes.
And had a chance to talk with Tony Shepard there, who's a professional crappie fisherman. He's come out with a 12-foot collapsible crappie net.
Really? That sounds cool. Yeah.
That weighs 17 ounces.
Come on.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on. Yeah.
Pretty amazing. The handle's made out of carbon. I will tell you, I was
17. It'll extend out to 17 feet.
12 feet.
I mean 12 feet.
But it's 17 ounces.
It's 17 ounces. Can you hear
12 feet? And it's amazing.
And Ron will be writing. We're going to have something in the August issue of the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing News that Ron will put together about the products and some usual things that he saw down there. And
the things that we're going to put in there are the things that I think are of interest. What I think, and Mid-South Hunting and Fishing News and Outdoors with Larry Ray their best of show stuff.
Well, that's what we want. Because,
and then you know certainly we're going to tell you what won, and some of it again, you know, like that Yeti bucket actually won a product award, and I go, wow.
Wow. Well, I mean,
wow.
You know, media polls and things along like this, preseason polls and others in sports,
absolutely,
don't mean really anything until you get to let's play the real thing, and you get down to it. But I know Ron spent some time with our good friends at Lou's, and they were honored as well as they should be.
Orange Crush.
Yes, the Orange Crush. That were you able to get your one of those, Ron?
No, they're not out yet.
Oh, I thought we were.
I don't have one, but you know, we should be getting one in the mail when they get to production in.
Yeah. Okay. Gary Dollahan and all those guys are putting.
They were all there, and you know the way they teased all of us media.
Oh
people,
yeah, well, that can
they
the crushed.
And you know what they did was they had a press conference on the first day at 2:30. And
did you get there in time for that?
So I finally got there in time. And they actually made some awards to some very wonderful people, their salespeople.
Well, good,
and then also to recognize the American Hero program. But there, for refreshments, they gave us
what? Orange Crush?
Orange Crush.
I knew that.
I
knew
pretty
that.
amazing. And, of course,
you drank Orange
Bill
Crush?
wasn't there yet. I drank mine because I was thirsty.
Okay, yeah.
But our friend,
orange is not your favorite color, but I just wanted to make sure that
right.
We didn't.
You know, our friend Brad Knight, who we've had on the show here before, a former Forest Wood Cup winner, he was there. And, of course, he's a big Tennessee fan, so we got a picture of him holding up the Orange Crush rod and reel.
All right, well,
cool.
We got a real tease. We're going to get out here. This is what we got set up. If everything goes right, thanks to Ron Wong. Jeff Sprague is coming up, a guy that's come up through the ranks, and I'm looking forward to talking to Jeff. He's coming up, and then we got Larry Nixon, probably on the
general.
The general himself.
From B Branch.
From B Branch, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Andrew Upshaw, a young whippersnapper guy here that's going to come in there, and he's fired up being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Then we're going to sneak in somebody named Mark Rose.
Who's that?
I don't really know him, but I think he's available. And then Cody Meyer. We're going to wrap it up.
And we've had most of these folks on once or twice before.
Yeah, so we're going to talk Forest Wood Cup on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back, and going to bring in a special guest from the FLW Tour, too, to help us be my interpreter for you.
Absolutely.
Let's take a break. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790.
You can find out